Hey y'all, this is Ange. Welcome back to another episode of Brick Metric. And today I have the completed Lion Knight Castle Lego set 10305. And this castle is amazing. It's extremely detailed. I would say it took about 20 hours to build at least. It's just incredible. So many hidden chambers. So many towers to build, so many moving parts. This is one of the ultimate castles, I'd have to say, and it's just a combination of, just a history of Lego and the castles, previous castles and medieval sets. It's just absolutely stunning. So I'm going to show you all this castle room by room. I have it all unfolded right now. And then at the end we'll put it together because I actually fold in to make one castle, but if you want to play with it, you have to unfold it so you can see the rooms. But before we get into that, I want to show you the exterior. On the exterior you actually have, on this side, let's take a look at this. I love the roof on this castle. This is a thatch roof. You actually have like a tower here with a red and yellow banner. And just look at all the detail with the flowers and the vines creeping all over. You have some flowers in the windows here. And also, vines and stuff creeping down here. And these are some lovely pine trees. And they're a dark shade of green. And we also have a water wheel here. And we'll see what that does here. But I love how at the bottom, this actually does move. And I love how at the bottom, it looks like it's got water to make it look like the wheel is moving. And it does move. There are some lovely, around the side you'll notice the windows. A lot of them have slits in the windows, and that's to keep enemies from actually shooting. You don't want to have a big open window. So they would often shoot their arrows out of these small slitted windows. But we have some other lovely tower here with the banner. And that for the House of Leon, which means House of the Lion. And we also have another lovely thatch roof. I love this black and white here. I have some more little places where minifigures can stand, which I'll show you after a while. And some more greenery outside, more trees, more vines. And this takes us to the front of the castle. Look, we have a little knight. You always have to have somebody defending the castle. You can't just leave the castle open to invaders. You always have to have somebody. But here's the drawbridge. Also a bridge to go up into the castle. And some water underneath. And over here to the side, we have a beautiful tree. It's very large. I really love this tree. And how it grows up in the side of the castle. It's really neat. And another tower. We also have the main part of the tower here. And with two of the shields in the front. And the House of Leon, the banner, flying proudly at the top. Now, let's take a look at this glorious interior, starting over here on the right side. Here we are with the bedroom, and we have a red bed with golden posts on the back. There's a table off to the side and a rug, and the table has a letter and also a little quill on the side. And we have those lovely windows. I like how they have those in the back. And then over to the sides, you actually have the fireplace. And we have a white and black and brown design throughout the room. And we also have a chimney over here that shows that there's a fireplace on the side of the castle. Now, let's move down to below to the dining room. In the dining room, we actually have 3 shields, and it could be for different families, or it's, you know, or allies that the kingdom has. We have 2 large chairs, and looks like we got some desserts with some cherries on top there. The large white dining table. Now let's move down below to the kitchens. You got to have a kitchen when you're in a castle. Over to the right, we have a place where they store the bread, and on top there's a little bird's nest right there on the top, which I don't think I would want to store my bread in a place where there's a bird's nest, but you know, this was medieval times, so whatever. Over to the right, over to the left, you have a millstone. There is a place where you would actually put your grain in the top, and a chute where you would actually just have your flour dispense or your ground grains into the flour bag. And if you actually move the water wheel, you can see the millstone turning right there to ground the grains into flour. Very cool. I want to show you the bell. There's a bell in the tower, and that's to warn people of to warn the townsfolk of impending marauders. I like how they have that hidden up there in the tower. We have a room with a very large door, probably a large oak door there off to the side. And it looks like a playroom. And there is a little yellow castle, like the original first yellow castle that was created by Lego. Underneath, we actually have a room with looks like a fireplace, maybe like a music room. It has a harpsichord and a lovely, continued on with the design of the white, the brown into this room. I love it has a checkered floor with plenty of spots for minifigures to stand around, and an axe next to the fireplace on a log. And this, when we fold it up, it will actually connect with the dining room. So that's one large dining room. Let's go down to the other part of the kitchen. So we saw the area with the millstone and where they would grind the flour, but the kitchen is really awesome. In the back, we have a large stove or oven with fireplace. We have a little pan back there. There's some bread that has been baked or some pretzels on the side, some wine, maybe some spices on the shelf. There's some large pots and pans above it, looks like. And if you go over to the right, there's like a paddle, maybe for poking or pulling stuff out. Then over to the right, we actually have a croissant and some vegetables and things that are being prepared in some bowls. There's also it's like a little staircase going up in there, and a fountain right in the back. I think that the fountain and the water well is a very unique Lego piece. It looks it looks like, you know, there's actually water flowing down in there. All right, let's move to the next room. Now we have the armory. This armory is amazing. We have lots of weapons in here, but I'm going to move this out of the way here so that you can actually see behind it. So in the back, there's actually some shields, maybe from some allies, and also the chains for the contraption for the drawbridge. Because on the top of this is how the drawbridge is actually controlled. Or the gate, I mean. And on the weapon stand, we actually have 3 swords and a mace. On to the right, we actually have a crossbow and some bolts for the crossbow. In the back, we have a helmet, some in the back. And then if we go to the left, there's actually arrows, a bow, and a quiver onto the left. Right here we have the gate, and on the left there's actually a little walkway here. And this actually, when we fold this back up, it would actually connect with the music room. And then we also have a ladder to the right that goes up to the armory. At the very bottom floor, underneath the armory, we have the dungeon, which the dungeon has got some surprises in there. It actually has a skeleton. He's been in there for a while. And I'm going to actually get in here and open the cell doors. I'm going to take him out. And you can see he's got a window back in his cell. So he actually stayed in there for a while. Also, at the bottom, if any enemies came across the drawbridge, they would actually pull the drawbridge up, and the enemies would come sliding down into the bottom, where they would be trapped. But that's a really neat feature that they added. We have a tower over here to the left that has a little place for the minifigures to actually stand and shoot out the window. Have some torches on the outside and walkways to light the way. And right here, these are actually stones to drop on enemies. And I like how they had this behind the tree. So if they were coming up, they would just climb up the tree. They would just throw the stones onto their enemies as they climbed up the side. Underneath this, we have some shields. We actually have a nasal helm and a spear there as well. And the one with the plume is an armlet. I really love how they have the stands. You can, switch up your gear throughout the castle. You have your little minifigures moving around. Underneath here, this actually folds into the dungeon, is the treasury. I would like to think that this is where, if any enemies were down there, that's all the loot. There's a little hallway, a barrel right here. So it's kind of hidden back in there. I'd say that's where they stored all their stuff. And the chest has actually got some little cups and things inside of it. And there's some little, well, almost looks like a drum or something there to the left. So there's some secret rooms in this castle. So I'm actually going to fold this up and then show you where some secret rooms are hidden. Let's fold it all up like this. Now that you've seen the inside, you can get a better view of the fortress. So now, let's take this apart. It comes in 2 sections. And let's take a look here at the bottom. And here at the bottom, we actually have a secret chamber. Now to get to this secret chamber, you actually have to flip open this door if you were coming from the top. It's kind of hard to get open. And there's a ladder that goes down in there. And there's like a map in there, some stools. There's a target on the wall back there in the back. There's some wine. Little secret hidden room. I like to think this is the war room where they plot out their invasions, or you know, if they think somebody's coming to invade them, and also a room where if somebody did invade the castle, the king and queen and the people of the castle could hide if the castle was overtaken by enemies. On the opposite connecting side, we actually have a little walkway that goes out. There's some bats and a frog down there. Looks like there's some water out there. So you're probably wondering, where does that come out to? So if people needed to escape, or minifigures need to escape for that matter, they can go out this walkway. And I'm going to flip it around so that you can see where it comes out to. And actually, under the bridge here is where the walkway is. So right underneath there. And so they would just, if they needed to sneak out, they would just sneak out through there. There's another little hidden door over here to the side. And if we flip this up, you can see where people could hide if they had to go out and fight against any marauders coming into the area. And there's an elk shield there, which we haven't seen that elk shield throughout the castle. And I believe that that is from the forest people. So they must be allies of the House of Leon. There are a couple of moving parts to the castle, which I showed you previously, that the drawbridge drops down to the dungeon. So to actually get the drawbridge to raise, you turn the knob to the right, or turn it to lower it. Also, the gate raises and lowers. So to raise it, you just turn the contraption on the top, and there's a lever. You hit that to lower it. Pretty awesome. Another moving part to the castle is this gate over here on the side. It kind of looks like a ladder. There's actually a little knob in behind the tower. You can wind the gate up, or you can lower the gate. So some really cool features. And just in case any minifigures were being chased by any bees from this beehive, they can run over here and say, "Open the gate," and run right in. Of course, no castle would be complete without the minifigures and all the people who live there and work there and visit. So here we have the House of Leon. Here is the Queen, all in her gear. And she actually has her crown here, but you can take this off and put her in full armor. She's sitting there on her horse, ready to go into battle. She has a shield and a sword, and is wearing a magnificent cape with her house's symbol on it. And it's also on the horse armor and all on her shield. Very beautiful. We have all the knights and the archers and the people who are there to defend the castle. We have a knight here with an axe and a shield. It has a large red plume at the top. We have another One here doesn't have their gear on, so they're ready to go get geared up and defend the castle. We have 2 archers here, so that were placed strategically around the castle to defend it. A bugler. So that way, if there's any enemies or marauders coming up, they can warn, the people inside the castle. And we have 2 more knights here. They've got their sword and axe ready, and one that hasn't quite got their helmet on yet. Now we have the people who work inside the castle. This is the cook, and I'm thinking this is actually the lady in waiting. We have a keg here. These are some little accessories that are on the outside. And also a bread stand here as well. And I love how he's got the little leather apron on, the cook, and she's all decked out in a nice green and white outfit. Next we have the visitors to the castle. Here we have some musicians and craft people. We have 2, and these actually, they remind me of Robin Hood. They've got their quivers in the back with their arrows. And it looks like she's got a little wooden thing that she's maybe going to sell. We have over here a little boy and he's riding in the cart with an oxen. They've got some straw. And here's his father over here. And he actually has a pitchfork to pitch the straw out. So it looks like they're coming to deliver some things. They brought a couple little friends with them too. Here, it looks like a little lamb here that's trotting along with them. And they also have a little dove here as well. Super cool is the wizard, all decked out in blue. He's got his staff with looks like an emerald on the top. Nice white beard. And on the back, I'll flip him over, he actually has his backpack. So he's up to no good. Reminds me of Gandalf. Maybe he's coming to get some people to go on a quest. Here we have the people from the house of the Black Falcon. And we actually have a knight here, I'm assuming. I did see a crown, so I don't think it's a king. And maybe they're coming to warn the queen of an impending danger. But they've got the Black Falcon on their shield, on their outfit, and also on their horse armor as well. The 2 people accompanying this knight also have their banners flying, the yellow and blue. They have a sword, a walking stick, backpack, so they're coming in for a visit. And I actually left out a little extra piece right here to show you some gold that they would have used. And that's it. That's all the minifigures that made this possible. I live and work here in the castle. Overall, I have to say this is an amazing, very detailed set. This took a long time to build, but I absolutely love it. And I'm such a huge fan of medieval castles. I mean, the secret hidden rooms and the moving parts and everything added to this castle just made it seem like, a real medieval castle model. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. And the minifigures, just a large, an abundance of minifigures. I just think that just was awesome how they did this. So, love this set. Have to say, it would be a really nice set, you know, to have your kids play with. You know, not just a display piece. Some stuff you see, it's just a display piece. This is one where you could, you know, make up all sorts of stories and really get in there and play with this castle. So I have to say this is pretty awesome. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.